Please subscribe, like and share this content. It means a lot to us. Thank you in advance.
To U.S. Code Chapter 5, Library of Congress. To U.S. Code Paragraph 131, Collections composing library, location. The Library of Congress, composed of the books, maps, and other publications which on December 1, 1873, remained in existence, from the collections theretofore united under authority of law and those added from time to time by purchase, exchange, donation, reservation from publications ordered by Congress, acquisition of material under the copyright law, and otherwise, shall be preserved in the library building. To U.S. Code Paragraph 132, Departments of Library. The Library of Congress shall be arranged in two departments, a general library and a law library. To U.S. Code Paragraph 132a, Appropriations for increase of general library. The unexpended balance of any sums appropriated by Congress for the increase of the general library, together with such sums as may hereafter be appropriated to the same purpose, shall be laid out under the direction of the Joint Committee of Congress on the Library. To U.S. Code Paragraph 132a1, Obligations for reimbursable and revolving fund activities, limitation. Effective for fiscal years beginning with fiscal year 1995, obligations for any reimbursable and revolving fund activities performed by the Library of Congress are limited to the total amounts provided 1. in the Annual Regular Appropriations Act making appropriations for the legislative branch, or 2. in a Supplemental Appropriations Act that makes appropriations for the legislative branch. To U.S. Code Paragraph 132a2, Furniture, Furnishings, and Office and Library Equipment. Transfer of funds. A. Transfer of funds in addition to any other transfer authority provided by law. During fiscal year 2001 and fiscal years thereafter, the Librarian of Congress may transfer to and among available accounts of the Library of Congress amounts appropriated to the librarian from funds for the purchase, installation, maintenance, and repair of furniture, furnishings, and office and library equipment. B. Availability of funds. Any amounts transferred pursuant to subsection A shall be merged with and be available for the same purpose and for the same period as the appropriation or account to which such amounts are transferred. C. Approval of Congress. The librarian may transfer amounts pursuant to subsection A only with the approval of the Committees on Appropriations of the House of Representatives and Senate. To U.S. Code Paragraph 132a3, Authority to transfer amounts between categories of appropriations. A. In general, during fiscal year 2014 and any succeeding fiscal year, the Librarian of Congress may transfer amounts appropriated for the fiscal year between the categories of appropriations provided under law for the Library of Congress for the fiscal year, upon the approval of the Committees on Appropriations of the House of Representatives and Senate. B. Limitation. Not more than 10% of the total amount of funds appropriated to the account under any category of appropriations for the Library of Congress for a fiscal year may be transferred from that account by all transfers made under subsection A. To U.S. Code Paragraph 132b, Joint Committee on the Library. The Joint Committee of Congress on the Library shall, on and after January 3, 1947, consist of the Chairman and 4 members of the Committee on Rules and Administration of the Senate and the Chairman and 4 members of the Committee on House Oversight of the House of Representatives. To U.S. Code Paragraph 133, Joint Committee during recess of Congress. The portion of the Joint Committee of Congress on the Library on the part of the Senate remaining in office as senators shall during the recess of Congress exercise the powers and discharge the duties conferred by law upon the Joint Committee of Congress on the Library. To U.S. Code Paragraph 134, Incidental Expenses of Law Library. The incidental expenses of the Law Library shall be paid out of the appropriations for the Library of Congress. To U.S. Code Paragraph 135, Purchase of Books for Law Library. The librarian shall make the purchases of books for the law library, under the direction of and pursuant to the catalog furnished him by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. To U.S. Code Paragraph 135a, National Library Service for the Blind and Print Disabled. A. Accessible materials and reproducers. 1. In general, the Librarian of Congress is authorized to provide to eligible persons who are residents of the United States, including residents of the several states, insular possessions, and the District of Columbia, and to eligible persons who are United States citizens residing outside the United States, the following items: A. Literary works published in raised characters, on sound reproduction recordings, or in any other accessible format. B. Musical scores, instructional texts, and other specialized materials used in furthering educational, vocational, and cultural opportunities in the field of music published in any accessible format. C. Reproducers for such formats. 2. Ownership. Any item provided under paragraph 1 shall be provided on a loan basis and shall remain the property of the Library of Congress. B. Lending preference in the lending of items under subsection A. The librarian shall at all times give preference to 1. The needs of the blind and visually disabled, and 2. The needs of eligible persons who have been honorably discharged from the armed forces of the United States. C. Network. The Librarian of Congress may contract or otherwise arrange with such public or other nonprofit libraries, agencies, or organizations as the librarian may determine appropriate to serve as local or regional centers for the circulation of items described in subsection A. 1. D. International service. The Librarian of Congress is authorized to provide items described in subparagraphs A and B of subsection A. 1 to authorized entities located in a country that is a party to the Marrakesh Treaty, if any such items are delivered to authorized entities through online, not physical, means. The librarian may contract or otherwise arrange with such authorized entities to deliver such items to eligible persons located in their countries in any accessible format and consistent with Section 121A of Title 17. E. Contracting preference in the purchase and maintenance of items described in subsection A. The Librarian of Congress, without regard to Section 6101 of Title 41, shall give preference to nonprofit institutions or agencies whose activities are primarily concerned with the blind and with other physically disabled persons, in all cases where, considering all the circumstances and needs involved, the librarian determines that the prices submitted are fair and reasonable. F. Regulations. The Librarian of Congress shall prescribe regulations for services under this section, in consultation with eligible persons and authorized entities. Such regulations shall include procedures that shall be used by an individual to establish that the individual is an eligible person. G. Definitions in this section. 1. The terms accessible format, authorized entity, and eligible person have the meanings given those terms in Section 121 of Title 17, and 2. The term Marrakesh Treaty has the meaning given in Section 121A of such Title 17. H. Authorization of appropriations. There are authorized to be appropriated to carry out this section such sums as may be necessary. 2 U.S. Code Paragraph 135A1, repealed. Pub. L. 11694, Div. P. Title XIV, Paragraph 1403B, December 20, 2019, 133 Stat. 3207. 2 U.S. Code Paragraph 135B, Local and Regional Centers, Preference to Blind and Other Physically Handicapped Veterans, Rules and Regulations, Authorization of Appropriations. A. The Librarian of Congress may contract or otherwise arrange with such public or other nonprofit libraries, agencies, or organizations as he may deem appropriate to serve as local or regional centers for the circulation of 1. Books, recordings, and reproducers referred to in Section 135A of this title, and 2. Musical scores, instructional texts, and other specialized materials referred to in Section 135A1 of this title, under such conditions and regulations as he may prescribe. In the lending of such books, recordings, reproducers, musical scores, instructional texts, and other specialized materials, preference shall at all times be given to the needs of the blind and of the other physically handicapped persons who have been honorably discharged from the armed forces of the United States. B. There are authorized to be appropriated such sums as may be necessary to carry out the purposes of this section.